What's up everyone, I'm John from Beyond ARTV, and female-fronted bands are the future. Over the course of time, I feel like I've kind of diverted towards having a bias towards female vocals in the sense that I like them a little bit more than the male voice, at least a lot of the time. It's something that sometimes I tell people that and they don't believe me, but honestly, it's just something that I'm drawn to. I don't know if it's the power or the emotion. Everything just seems to sell a little bit better and seem a little bit more real for me. But I understand that that's personal bias and that's just my personal taste. But today I do want to highlight 10 amazing female-fronted bands that I feel are a part of the future, are a part of a movement of women in music. And I love seeing females playing in bands not just because, oh, it's different, or oh, it's cool, and I like the fact that a girl's up on stage. It's more of a, I like the fact that it's becoming a little bit more equal and we're seeing more of them pop up. I think in the past it's kind of been a man's world when it comes to getting into bands, especially in certain scenes. And I understand if women don't want to play in bands, it's not necessarily their thing or what they want to do, but I do also like that it's becoming more prominent and that more people are speaking out and it's just becoming more of an equal scene in general.
Calm down, over and over again. Stop crying, over and over again. Hot minute, feeling like hours. Phone ringing, no one answers.
Being in the music field and community like I am, I often get sent promos from bands and even record labels quite often, sending me their stuff, letting me check them out, sometimes sending advance material before an album drops, and a lot of times the quality isn't exactly there or else I don't have time to check it out, but on a whim, I decided to click on the Wild Things, and I am so glad that I did. Sydney Ray White is the lead singer of this band. You might know her from the Netflix and BBC show Uncle, or perhaps American Sniper, a movie that was somewhat popular here in the United States. She leads this band that leans a little bit more towards hard rock and rock in general, and they have a brand new album coming out this fall that I got an advance copy of already. You're Really Something is the name of the album, and I'm really impressed with it. Overall, this band reminds me of 90s rock mixed with a little bit of modern alternative flair. I hear everything from the Smashing Pumpkins musically to Wolf Alice vocally in them, and if you know me, I love both of those things, and seeing that in a culmination of one band is awesome. Please go check out the Wild Things if you're into rock music at all. I think they're worth a listen. Stand Atlantic are up next. They are an Australian band recently signed to Hopeless Records, which is incredible for them. They got their start on Rude Records and put out some well-received EPs and music in Australia, but now they're finally crossing over across the sea and getting worldwide recognition, at least on some small levels. They are fronted by Bonnie Fraser, and I really like how powerful and just enthusiastic her vocal performances are. They play a variety of pop, punk, and rock-styled music, so if you're into that at all, I think this band could be right up your alley. The vocals are incredibly poignant, the instrumentals are tight, and I honestly like a lot of the commentary that's found in their songs. If you want a couple of selections to try out first, I highly recommend Coffee at Midnight, and even the new single, which I think is really, really good too, Lavender Bones.
Killing me, taking all my attention. I don't need another song about you. So this is the last one, this is the last one.
I've been very excited about this next one here, The Aces. It's actually an all-female band, not just a female-fronted band, but all 4 members from Utah are actually women, and I think that that's super cool. The style of music that they play is, I would say, probably pop rock, a little bit of alternative. They're signed to Red Bull Records, and they recently released their debut album, When My Heart felt volcanic, which was full of some euphoric jams, some ballads that I really didn't see coming, and some really catchy, groovy love songs that are just fun to sway to sing along to. They're a summery band, they're a springy band, they're just a vibrant group that is really radiating with positivity, and I think that a lot of women are drawn to them, and men in general, just music fans. If you like music, you're drawn to them because the talent is there, but also the charisma and the songwriting. Of course, I have to give a recommendation to one of my favorite bands of this decade, Wolf Alice. Ellie Roselle fronts this group, and she's really dynamic with her vocal capabilities and her guitar playing. I've seen this band live several times and they always kill it, but their studio recordings are some of my favorite records of this decade as well. They have catchy songs, they have rocking and hard-hitting ones, they even have some Riot Girl stuff, which would be found on their second album. The lead single, Yuck Fu, is a total fuck you. Wolf Alice are actually about to enter a hibernation before they record studio album number 3, so if you're looking for something to do while you wait and you're not super into these guys yet, then please go back, check out their first 2 records, even their EPs, because they are amazing. It's something that can light you up, make you feel full of life, but can also make you question things because of the way that Ellie Roselle writes. Checking in next on my list is a band called Dollskin. They're largely associated with the Warped Tour scene, and unfortunately they were on the final Warped Tour, but I didn't get to catch their set, so hopefully I'll get to change that at some point soon. They are an all-female band once again, and they are fronted by Sydney Dalzell? I am so sorry, I probably butchered that. The band's songs often feature some positive, uplifting female empowerment anthems. There's something that can tear down and tackle situations that are a little bit heavy, and they can uplift those that have been through these certain situations, and I think that a lot of people find them relatable in that way. But also, there's a connection musically, especially for me. It's something that they have these guitars and these drums and powering bass and vocals that all come together in a culmination to just make something really, really cool. ROLO Tomassi are a band fronted by Eva Spence. Her brother James Spence is also in the band, and I just find them incredibly interesting. And Spectrum Pulse, if you're watching, yes, I finally took your advice and listened to the band. They have a very experimental approach to making music, and honestly, I really fell in love after hearing the 2 singles from their newest project. Both Rituals and Aftermath absolutely slay, and I just love the fact that there are so many layers that you can peel back and get into. It's not so dense that just the average music fan isn't going to be able to just pick them up and be like, oh, that rocks. That's actually what happened for me, and I'm not always into super heavy music like this. They have other tendencies, and they can flex other strengths through their songs.
I'm just a little bit caught in the middle. I try to keep going, but it's not that simple. I think I'm a little bit caught in the middle.
It wouldn't be a list of badass female-fronted bands if I didn't include Paramore, some juggernauts in the industry that have really stood the test of time, even though there's kind of been a revolving door lineup. If you're somehow unfamiliar, Hayley Williams fronts this band and absolutely just belts out vocally. She has some very passionate lyrics, but also a fiery voice that can both emote, but also charge you up in the sense that it just gives you something to amplify the voice that is hiding within yourself. There's a little bit of everything, and there's something for everyone. So if you haven't revisited Paramore in a while, or if you've somehow been sleeping under a rock and have never listened to the band before, now is the time to change that.
Could be me, the one
This next one is super weird, but I'm also kind of excited and stoked to talk about them because they're just doing something interesting. I would say that they fall in the realm of experimental and indie pop, just some pop tendencies that also have sampling, heavy effects, and some weird shit going on. It's SUPERORGANISM, and they are fronted by lead singer Orono Noguchi. I do hope I pronounced that one correctly. Originally, the majority of the members of SUPERORGANISM were in a band called the Eversons. They played harder rock, garage rock, and over time, they grew bored of playing that, so they had a fan in the form of Orono that they would talk to regularly, and she just decided, oh, you know what? If they offer me to join this band, I'm going to join this band, and that's exactly what happened, and hence here we have SUPERORGANISM. They are blowing up, they are taking over, they are getting tons of views on their music videos, and I really don't think it'll be too long before they're just another one of those critic darlings that people look to as, yes, experimental, but also avant-garde for pop in a very good way. SLEATER-KINNEY are a long-running rock band that have long since been female icons. So many bands look up to them, and they are an all-female group. A trio at this point, they are fronted by Corin Tucker. It's an all-female band, like I said, featuring Carrie Brownstein and Janet Weiss. They definitely have a feminist vibe to much of their music, some left-leaning politics, and it's something where they aren't afraid to call it like it is, how they see things. And I like that striking symbolism that often comes up in their music. I highly recommend going back and checking out the group's back catalog because they have many records. I would say start with maybe a classic like Dig Me Out, and also check out the newest release, No Cities to Love.
She won't ever love no boy. She treats you like a fucking toy. She'll break your heart and steal your joy like a criminal.
Rounding out our list today, I just want to remind you that this was in no particular order, and I'm not ranking one band in terms of quality over the next. I have many other bands that I did want to include in this list, so maybe if you want to see a part 2, then let me know in the comments section down below. But the final act that I'm going to be talking about today is Soccer Mommy. Originally kind of a solo act for Sophie Allison, and it still technically is, but she has a backing band that is actually growing to be more and more powerful in the sense that, yes, they tour with her. Her boyfriend Julian is actually in the band too, and I do feel like maybe the next release it'll become a full band effort. Her songwriting isn't afraid to get personal, bitter, and just really explore the depths of everything that's going on in her mind, and it's pretty clear that she enjoys a wide variety of both music and other stuff in the world because it comes out in the way that the music comes across for Soccer Mommy. I do hope that everyone watching the video will at least go check out some of these amazing female-fronted bands. Like I said, if you want to see a part 2 of this in the future, then let me know. Female-fronted bands are the future. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and here's the outro. Shameless plug, but if you would like to support the channel on Patreon, then please tap the annotation in the corner of the screen or the top link down below. Grab yourself some merch at the second link. If you want to see a list of badass female bands that I did in the past, then tap here, or tap here for another recent video. Other than that, you can find me on socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.